now tuned in to the cold, hard truth. Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips@caymanmarlroad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. What's going on, Cayman Islands? Sorry, there's no Blake and Aaron this morning. They had some technical difficulties. So we are back to just being you and I. Isn't that sweet? Love it, love it, love it. We miss Blake and Aaron, though. That is so much fun in the morning. I get tons of positive feedback on that segment of the show every single morning. People look forward to it. Buenos dias, Evelyn. Good morning, Marshall. How are you? Diamond Princess is here. The lovely Olivia is here. Quincy, what's up? Quincy Brown in the house. Wee Wee's got it locked on. Wee Wee's like, I'm always here, honey gel. And Blissful Powell. Who else is here? Listen, there's at least 100 of you online already. Where are your manners? Thank you, Darius. Good morning. We are Caymanians after all, and we believe in saying good morning. Good morning to the beautiful Sherry. Good morning, Felicia. How are you guys doing? Who else is here? There's still tons of you who are not saying good morning. What did your mama tell you about manners? Lenny, there we go. Good morning to the beautiful Lenny. Hello, Siobhan. How is everyone? How was your weekend? I'm feeling a little hot. Let me adjust the AC while I'm at it. Everyone had a fantastic weekend. Miss Moya is here. Got it locked, got it locked. Hello, Louie, joining us all the way from Detroit. Louie, what's the weather like? You know, we like our little weather update to see how cold it's going to be for you today. Guess what? The Cayman breeze is officially here. I'm feeling the chill in the air. It feels good. I was telling my daughter this morning, she's going through it. You know, kids, they're so interesting. She's going through this phase right now where she wants to wear shorts all the time. So I said to her, oh, the weather's a little bit cool today. And she said, no, I'm going to be hot. I said, oh boy, we better pack you some extra leggings or something because it's starting to feel a little bit, you know, not chilly, but you know, our Christmas breeze is definitely on the way. And it feels beautiful. Don't you agree, Chantal? Good morning. Quincy says, happy Monday morning. Miss Emma's here. She says, good morning, my beautiful people. Thank God for waking us up this morning. Yes, we're thankful because guess what? Lots of people didn't even make it through the weekend or through the night. Natasha is here. Quincy says it's great to be tuned in. Good morning, Webster, joining us all the way from Jamaica. Wagwan. Can I tell you, yesterday there was another really bad accident in Jamaica. I don't know where it was. Webster, did you hear about that? I got video footage and everything. I was like, oh my God. Looks like another, at least 1 or 2 fatalities. I think somebody ran a red light and it was like a taxi and another car, and whoo, they can have some crazy accidents in Jamaica. Let me tell you, when they have an accident in Jamaica, it's like, it's horrible. I'm praying that those people survive, but it didn't really look good. Miss Anne is joining us. Good morning. Gladys is here from Rotan, Honduras. How are you, my love? Cece McLaughlin is tuned in. Miss Dorothy is here. Good morning. Miss Ruth joining us from Nicaragua. Hey, buenos dias. Buenos dias to all of our Spanish friends. Miss Rita says, hola, buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás? Carmelie is here. Quincy says, CMR always keeps me updated. This I can depend on, but hopefully. Miss Ruth is here. Good morning to the ever lovely Miss Sue. She's having her tea. So I've got my oatmeal. So you guys know that we're going to be launching this new program. This is where you guys can hold me accountable now. It's called 50 by 50. So I'm trying to lose 50 pounds by the time I'm 50. So give myself plenty of time. This is not like I'm 50 next week and I need to run and go lose 50 pounds. So the slow and easy approach is what I'm all about, because I want to adapt, you know, and modify my habits. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I'm already making small incremental changes. And for me, the small incremental changes means that hopefully it's actually going to stick, because, you know, we kind of know what we need to be doing, but it's hard. So one of the things I definitely need to adopt in terms of good habits is to start eating breakfast. I've made myself a little bowl of oatmeal. Now, I must admit, it is instant oatmeal, y'all. But nonetheless, it's breakfast. And so I've got it here just cooling down just a little bit because it's still hot. And then I'm going to eat this for breakfast. So at least I'll get something in my stomach for breakfast to, as they say, break the fast. That's what breakfast is supposed to be, right? Louis says it's 42 degrees with a high of 65. Yes, that's chilly. I wish I could say it's going to get warmer, but you know, nothing wrong with a little coolness in the wintertime. Good morning to the lovely Kay. I've not seen you in a while. How is your beautiful daughter? Carmelie says it was in Portmore. Okay, very sad accident. Good morning, Miss Edna. Sherry says it's better to lose it slowly. Get it, mama. Yeah, I'm on top of it. And we're going to be bringing people on the program. We're going to do a whole thing around this 50 by 50, right? So we're going to have a nutritionist on the program. We're going to have a physician who is actually a diabetic specialist. So, you know, in the Caribbean, a lot of us have diabetes, or we're edging a little bit too close to that line. And so he's going to be joining us in the program and talk about, you know, all of the risk factors leading up to that. If you're pre-diabetic, just changes that you can make, because you can actually offset. And I dare say, we're going to ask him this, but can you really prevent diabetes with a few life style tweaks. So he's going to talk about all that. We're going to get an exercise expert on the program. So we're going to start working out. Remember when during COVID, when we first started doing the morning show? Irvin will definitely remember this. Remember when we were working out and we had, who was it in Miami or Fort Lauderdale that was working out with us? I haven't seen her online in a while because everybody's kind of gotten back to their lives and gotten back to work now. But yeah, when we were in lockdown, we had Ricardo on here. We were working out with Ricardo on Friday mornings, getting our little, energy levels up. So we're going to go back to that, and we're working. I'll let you guys know who it's going to be soon. But yes, Jade, those were fun. So, I haven't been working out in a minute, I'll be honest. And I got no excuses in that department, none whatsoever. So we're going to get back to that. So Jonathan says 6 more days of quarantine. Where did you go, Jonathan? Where did you go? Why are you quarantining? He's rolling his eyes. It could be worse, Jonathan. It could be worse. Believe me, you. Jade, good morning to you. Yes, I had a pretty good weekend. So this week, we're going to talk about today's Monday Rewind. We're going to talk about what happened over the weekend. And one of the things we did, in case you guys noticed, I was updating a lot of the court cases. So it's hard sometimes to get all the court stuff updated. And to be honest, if we request a file from the court's office, this last time they took like 2 weeks to get us a couple files. They're a little bit slow like molasses. And, I feel like I need to talk to the Chief Justice here. Like, why does it take 2 weeks to sign off on a file? Like, y'all ain't that busy. I mean, really, let's be honest here. I'm just saying. So I feel like it's a deterrent. This is a new plan that they put in place more recently for, having access and reviewing files and stuff. But I do that to get the story accurate, to make sure I get all the facts accurate, right? So we're waiting on another one that we need to report on. And then there's a couple civil cases. So today we're going to go through all the ones that we have mentioned. We're going to talk about the prison inmates and their COVID positive cases. And what else do we have on Fleek? I think maybe a little bit of COVID update news. We're moving closer, folks, to November the 20th. And that means phase 4 of the reopening. And the government is committed to that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And I do know that very, very soon, the premier will be coming on the program. He's actually in quarantine at the moment because, he went away for the COP26. And we'll find out when he's coming on the show. He's committed to coming on more often, just being available to answering your questions. We'll try to firm up how often that will be. So let me see when he's able to come on. And then we're working on a few investigative things behind the scene for you. In fact, you'd be surprised to know what we're working on, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. But there's something of interest that is indeed brewing. So, sometimes you got to wait until you get all the details to really figure out if there's a story there or if it's not so much of a big deal. Because sometimes things sound like a really big deal. And then when you start digging and you get all your ducks lined up, you're like, this sounded like something, but now it's a little bit different. So we'll see. Yes, Jay, those Friday workout sessions were fun. And trust me, that was the first time in a while that my heartbeat kind of got elevated a little bit. So Evelyn says she misses her work. Yeah, Evelyn used to dress up in her little outfit. I remember Evelyn. Evelyn had her exercise gear on. Jade says that she works out every morning. See, I like that. I think do it in the morning. I was always, like when I was working out religiously, I would always actually do it really late at night because I find in the mornings I'm so busy and I don't necessarily want to get up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, So I don't mind working out later in the day, but I have to make it a routine because otherwise when you fall off the wagon, it is hard to get back on. So, yeah, I don't mind it. Sometimes I'd go to the gym all 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, like whenever I could find time. Now I actually have access to a gym at home, but that ain't getting used, child. That's collecting dust. So WhatsApp had a little update on Friday. And I got to tell you, I'm not too happy with the update. And then after I updated it, I wanted to go back. And WhatsApp reminded me that sometimes in life you can't go backwards. So there's no undoing the update. But I did email them and I said, hey, you've broken something with this supposed beta update. And they said, oh, yes, thanks for letting us know. We're aware of it and we'll fix it the next update. Good morning, Miss Vanita. How are you? Joining us in Windsor Park. We got the lovely, handsome Andy Martin here, little country music. You should join us one morning on the show and sing for us. Michael Ventura is back in the 345. He says, I'm ready to wash your car next week. Oh, thank you, Michael. Welcome back. I'm so happy. My car will love you. Because trust me, I actually went to the car wash, I think it was last week, because it was getting a little bit desperate. I was like, oh God, when Michael gets back, he's going to have to be digging under the car seat with the vacuum cleaner and getting in the, you know what, where it's like a little hidden area. Well, you know, the cup holders, they're always a little bit tricky. The little, what's it called? The console in the middle. And then the doors, because sometimes you just kind of like put stuff in the doors. And you got to get in there good with the vacuum and the cleaning cloth. So Michael, big shout out to Michael. He does a fantastic job with washing our vehicles. We have a standing order with him. Just come every weekend and just get it done. So that I don't have to remember to book him. He knows just to come. And he's fast and really, really good. So I can't wait to see you, Michael. Sounds good. Just remind me now. Diana's here. Good morning to you. Quincy said, it appears to me that this government, the PAC administration, is more welcoming to CMRs compared to the... Well, that's an understatement, Quincy. I think that might be the understatement of the year. You know, it's been a transition. And I think that this government has demonstrated that it's going to be fair to media, no matter who you are. And that's kind of nice, to be honest. To have the option of attending press briefings, asking questions on behalf of the Caymanian people, meaning all of us. And yeah, they're definitely much more accommodating. And, you know, they're not necessarily afraid of the tough questions. Because trust me, they get asked some tough questions. Now, of course, I want to see the PAC government succeed. And but that doesn't mean that I sit back and don't ask tough questions or don't constructively criticize when it's necessary. Every government needs that. What do they say? The media is the fourth arm of the government, right? Because we got to keep them in check, folks. Miss Lorita, buenos dias from Rotan. How are you? Beautiful, Lorita. I love your photo. So yes, Miss Vernita, the slow process is better. I'm all for it. And we're going to talk about, I kind of feel like each week I'll not each week, maybe once a month, I'm going to hyper focus on either adding a positive habit to my routine or trying to eliminate a bad habit. And trust me, I got a lot of bad habits when it comes to diet. Irvin likes to go to the gym in the evenings, but it's kind of scary going out there because of COVID. Yeah, child, that's why I'm going to be at home. I'm going to do my exercise routine at home because, like I said, I have all the equipment here. I'm going to take you guys to the gym one morning once we get a fitness guy on board, and I'm going to show you guys what I have, and you're going to be like shaking your head. Like, Sandy, there's no excuse why you shouldn't be working out every single day because I really have no excuse. Just laziness. Good morning, Lizette. Good morning, Everton. He said, good morning. As of today, yes, the USA is finally open for travelers from all over the world as long as you're fully vaccinated. So people can come over to make their Christmas shopping. I need to get the economy back on track. Well, yes, we're going to talk about that a little bit this morning because some people were misinformed. They were thinking that Caymanians, I don't know why y'all think you're so special, that Caymanians didn't have to get vaccinated, like you could go unvaccinated. When I heard that, I was like, please, Cayman has never been that special to the US of A. I mean, child, I don't know what y'all thinking. You know, for a really long time, US immigration and customs, like border control, they didn't really worry about Cayman too much because they're like, oh, you know, They're nice little simple people. And then we started breaking all kind of rules, importing drugs, guns into the US, and they're like, oh, the Cayman Islands getting badass. So we're going to be keeping an eye on them now. So they're not as there was a time when they would even check your luggage. They'd be like, oh yeah, you're from the Cayman Islands, go ahead. Like, I've actually been through the immigration checkpoint, and I think this was post, I want to say this was even post 9/11, because now they're profiling everyone. And I went up to an agent who was training a new agent, and he's like, where are you from? I said, oh, the Cayman Islands. He said, oh, okay. And he actually said to the agent, yeah, they're fine. They're no trouble to us, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to like overly inspect them. And they just come to shop. And I'm like, you got that right, because I'm here for 24 hours, not even 12 hours, because I leave in the night. Got my empty suitcase. I'm ready to go. So Irvington, I appreciate you reminding us of that. We will talk about that in a little bit. But folks, even now, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. COVID is still too present for me. I'm feeling nervous in Cayman, much less America. Like, I ain't going to no mall. But Americans are living their best lives. They're going to parties. Oh God, did y'all hear about that concert? I think that was it Friday? One day last week. There was what's Kylie Jenner's boyfriend's name again? I don't even know if that's her boyfriend, her baby daddy. Them Kardashians, they're like, listen, we're just gonna get pregnant for who we want to, and then we'll decide if we actually want it to be anything more. Travis, whatever his name is. So he had a Travis Scott, he had an actual concert, Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston, which is crazy. I'm like, Americans are going to festivals and partying and they're on top of each other. They give not a damn about any of it. They're going to live their best life until they're on oxygen. And then they're like, oh, I can't breathe. Save me. It's like, y'all are special. Can I just tell you? Very, very special. So, unfortunately, they went to this concert and some of them actually lost their lives. So there's at least 8 people dead and many injured after what they're saying was a crowd surge at his Astroworld Festival in Houston. And it seems like he didn't even know. He didn't even realize what was happening because there were so many people there. I'm going to see if I can get you guys a picture of this because this is crazy. But like I said, Americans are in this mode right now where they don't care. They're living their best lives. And unfortunately, in this situation, it wasn't good because some people actually died. But let me show you the crowd. I'm thinking, what? These people just on top of each other. Look at that. They don't care. I see. I would have been that person. First of all, I wouldn't have been there. But if I had gone, I would have been this person all the way in the back where there's like 12 feet between me and the next person. You see, it gets scarcer as you go further back. But look at how they're packed up towards the stage, on the left, on the right. I mean, this is just crazy. So poor Travis, he's very, very remorseful. So apparently a crowd surged forward as the rapper was on stage at the festival. This is Friday night. And, the event's live stream actually showed Scott pause his performance to look on in confusion as an ambulance with lights flashing pulled into the venue. So apparently he did not even realize what had happened until afterwards. So the festival ended at 10:10 p.m. local time. And then afterwards, he started, according to him and Kylie Jenner, they started seeing it on the news that night that people had actually died. And they had no clue. He said he's absolutely devastated by what took place. This is what he said on Saturday. He said, my prayers got to the families and all impacted by what happened at Astroworld Festival. And he said that the Houston PD has his total support as they continue to look into the tragic loss of life. So this is so crazy. They've had to launch an investigation. They're going to review the video footage from the scene. And they're also going to be looking at how the venue was laid out and whether it had enough exit points. Lord have mercy. So the investigation is going to look at what caused it, the issue of the crowd surge, what prevented people from being able to escape the situation, and of course, the cause of death is pending the medical examiner's determination. Officials canceled the second night of the concert, obviously, for Saturday. One security officer was struck in the neck Friday during the concert whilst trying to restrain a concert goer, and he was unconscious as a result of that. That's so crazy. Lord have mercy. Wow. But this isn't the first time. In 2019, 3 people were trampled and hospitalized as thousands rushed to get into the festival. So this is the festival's 3rd year, and it's organized by Scott, who's a Houston native. And it was supposed to run from Friday through Saturday, but of course, they canceled the second day. Wow. So a little bit of overseas entertainment news for you guys. But when I heard about this over the weekend, I was just like, what? Y'all crazy. I'm not going to a concert. I'm not going to no concert. I'm not even going to the mall. This is what I'm telling y'all. Just, ooh, honey child. No. So our condolences go out to those individuals and their family. Just crazy. Yeah, but when you have a lot of, I never am a fan of being in really big crowds. I just don't like it. And I think so many things can go wrong when you are in such humongous crowds, right? So I just am not, I'm not feeling it. That's why I love me some Amazon, y'all. I'm starting to be a little bit of a hermit. Quincy says, which media house presents the parliamentary opposition side? Child, they have their own media house. They are trolling people like you would not believe. Speaking of them, I'm glad you mentioned this, Quincy. On, I think it was Thursday or Friday, they put up a video. I'm pretty sure it's them. They never, they're so shady boots. They're never going to really take full accountability for the stuff that they do. Because they do a lot of, it's almost like guerrilla warfare, right? So they put out a lot of these videos. And there's a particular graphic and video designer on Island. I thought it was his work, and I reached out to him. He's denying it, honey child, but looks awfully suspicious. Everybody has markers of their work. You can tell when someone writes and they say certain things, or they write in a particular way. Even graphic designers, you can tell their work. And so it looks a lot like his work. And like I told him, if it wasn't him, then he has a doppelganger, where he has someone else out there just like him doing the same thing. And so they put out this video about how safe it came out. And then at the end, they do this little cartoon making fun of the government. They made fun of Sabrina mispronouncing a word. And I said, if others were trolling them as much when they were in power and sitting there mispronouncing words during press briefings and all that sort of stuff, but so they do their own, to answer Quincy's question, in case anybody else wants to know, they do their own releases all the time. And, if they have something interesting to say, I guess we'll cover it. So far, it's just been about negativity and, oh, yes, well, the government isn't doing anything right. But I don't hear any solutions coming from them. I don't hear an alternative like, this is what we would have done. Because remember, they had no plan when they left office. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, this government doesn't have a plan. I'm like, well, the last government didn't have a plan either. At least this government has started collaborating with private sector. They've got the public sector now on board to try to put a plan in place. I feel like y'all just hate whoever is in power. It probably doesn't matter too much. But I believe in trying to give people a fair shake. I gave the progressive government a share fake. Y'all don't know this, but I was speaking to someone this morning going way back to 2003 when I was a supporter of the government because of the progressives, I should say, that party, because their mandate is we're all about the people. We're going to build this party from the ground up. It's going to be people-centric. not from the top down. And I liked that, what they were saying. Turns out it was just a bunch of lip service. But, yeah, I was all for it. And over the years, they demonstrated through their actions that that's not what they were all about. So I will give this government a fair shake. And, if they disappoint, then y'all will certainly be hearing it from me. But yeah, listen, Quincy, they get their side more than covered between the trolls and the videos and all that kind of stuff. They are well covered. And I kind of think the compass favors them a little bit. I mean, this is just my opinion, but they tend to feed questions to the compass. I've seen that happen before at press briefings and stuff like that. So I think they'll be just fine. Don't worry about them. Everton says it was in Texas. Yes, unfortunately, 8 people died, including children. Oh, I was just wondering that. I was wondering, do people take kids to stuff like this? Yeah, I don't think that's the right environment for children. Over 50,000 people. Is that the numbers we were looking at? Damn. Wow. Oh man, that's horrible. And of course, this now taints that that festival forever. It's just crazy because is this a free concert to have that many people? Are people getting in for free? What? Why are so many people there? But yeah, it's unfortunate because I think Travis really likes to perform live. He enjoys that. And I know his baby mama, Kylie, and her sister were there. And their daughter was there as well. They've got I think she's like 3 years old. So they have a 3-year-old daughter. And Kylie's also pregnant. But of course, they're backstage. They've got security. So she was probably not in any immediate danger. But listen, her life is no more important than anybody else's life, to be honest. It's just really sad. Wow. So this person was quoted, this 23-year-old is quoted as saying that I've been to many Travis shows before, and I'm definitely aware of how insane the crowd and pits can be. But this is my first Astro World Fest, and I had no idea it would get like that. Why are people going so crazy? Look at this. This is all of the theatrics, I guess, of the show. And look at all the people with their phones out and live streaming, and every single hand is up in the air. Looks like live streaming this or whatever. But yes, all of what is to be 50,000 people ran to the front, compressing everyone together with the little air available. Damn. So she says that luckily I have mosh pit experience. Is there such a thing? And I'm 6 feet tall, so I could at least put my head up to breathe, but others not so fortunate. They were all mosh pits in every single direction. And if you weren't in them, you're trying so hard to push to not fall in. Like I'm telling you, there was one in the front, one in the back, one to the left, and one to the right of you, wherever you were. Are these mosh pits created by the people who attend, or is this something that the organizers create? I'm not really sure I know. So large crowds of people rushing through the entry gates during the festival, knocked down the barricade. They started rushing. I mean, this could just be an unfortunate situation because people got a little bit crazy. But, they're always going to find a way to blame the organizers. I hate to tell you this, but Travis is going to end up paying probably at the wazoo for this. The venue is also probably going to be in a little bit of trouble as well. This is crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that people lost their lives. Miss Sue says, so scary. So many people. Yes, 50,000 is a lot. That's a lot of people. That's like almost all that came out right there. Oh, yeah, they're going to sue. Damn. But you know what? These entertainers and promoters and stuff, they have a lot of insurance coverage. Not that insurance will ever bring a life back, believe me, you. But they do tend to be pretty well covered when it comes to insurance for venues like this, or events like this. But it's unfortunate when it happens. So Miss Vernita says you can lose weight at home too. I lost over 70 pounds inside because I can't walk like I used to. Yeah. Miss Vernita be looking good, child. Miss Carol says he's been charged. He's been charged. It's not the first time He's been charged with exciting fans to surge forward. He has been? When did that happen? That must be some extra breaking news that Carol got on me this morning. Let me see if I can find anything on the news blotters, but wow. Lawsuit filed against Travis Scott. Well, you know that was coming. Live Nation and others. Yep, they're going to have to pay up. So I see that they've been sued. So Travis Scott and Drake. Oh, was Drake performing there as well? Sued over deadly U.S. festivals. That's 27 minutes ago. So I only see that he's been sued. So BBC News has it up. Oh my God. This one guy is here saying that he died saving his fiance. Oh, so sad. So of course, yes, he's definitely going to be sued. One injured concert goer has accused Scott and surprise performer Drake of inciting the crowd and is seeking $1 million in damages. So listen, isn't that ironic? Someone who actually survived is already filed a lawsuit before the dead people's family have had an opportunity to file a lawsuit, y'all. America is a litigious society. They love to sue you no matter what. So I'm sure that, like I said, he's aware he's going to have to pay up. Wow. Sad. Very, very sad. All right. So a couple lawsuits already coming in, many more to come. I'm sure everybody's going to try to get a payday, child. People who weren't even injured are going to be like, oh, you broke my nail. I need $1 million for this one nail. That's how Americans are. So how do you control 50,000 people? Wow, it's crazy. I don't see where he's been charged yet, Carol, but do send me the link. It looks like he's been sued, but I don't see criminal charges of any kind yet. I wouldn't expect him to be charged so quickly. Like, I'm sure the investigation is still ongoing. Louis, reminding us of the time change in the US of A. So they gained an hour. So it's fall, you fall back. That's how I always remember it. You fall back. It's so nice to not have time changes in Cayman, although I was driving on Saturday and I did notice that it was getting darker a lot quicker. So it was like not quite 6 o'clock. It was pretty much dark already. So Marshall says it's crazy the way people are in big crowds, no social distancing. This is the other thing too. No COVID, no concern for COVID, child. They're just 50,000 people. You could not pay me to go to that concert. Forget it. I would have been watching the live stream, if anything. Soka says that she's never heard of him before. Soka, which rock you living under, girl? Soka's like, give me my soca music and country music and I'm done. I don't care about who Travis Scott is. She says, rest in peace, good music. Oh my God, she's so funny. Vernita says half their deportee criminals are here and getting a bad rap for it. What? Where did that conversation come from? Omeria, good morning to you, my love. How are you? Happy Monday. All right, so let's start talking about some of our own lawsuits and stuff over the weekend. So the weekend, Miss Joy, good morning to Peter. Good morning, Daisy. The weekend was super, super interesting because, like I said, I was trying to get caught up on a few cases. So let me go to, shall we start with the criminal or the civil cases first? Let's start with the criminal cases first because y'all love a good criminal case, child. So let me see here now. Criminal, trying to find it on the website. Yes, let's start. Let's start with Joel Brown. What a hot mess this young man is. He's beyond a hot mess. This kid, oh God, if this was my child, I'd be so embarrassed. Something went wrong in his life, and I would love to know what it is. Probably no accountability. Nobody holding him accountable. Too cute, I guess. I don't know. And his mother definitely not holding him accountable, child, because she wouldn't even give the police a statement. When I heard that, I was like, oh, mama, you got to do better. This is why your children embarrass you. Because, you don't hold them accountable their entire lives. And then they just want to do whatever and be beating up on people's children. So Joel has been in the news before because you guys remember that he was caught on video attacking his ex-girlfriend. So it's so funny because we actually got the footage of him attacking the girlfriend, and they were going back and forth on social media. I think she actually posted it up, and then he was attacking her about all sorts of stuff about, she's this and that, and she was cheating on him. He's making all kind of allegations. But, at the end of the day, the guy needs some professional help, y'all. He has now, because of this criminal case, been put in a domestic. They have different programs in court. So if you got a drug problem, they're going to put you in drug court. And it's been suggested that he's put into a domestic violence program. So they need to watch him. And he has a history of violence. So this young lady, unfortunately, has not reported. She reported him, but then didn't follow through with any charges. And I think, unfortunately for her, that is what allowed this to continue to escalate. Young ladies and men, some of y'all men might be in an abusive relationship. Let me assure you that you need to get out. Any man who's going to even verbally get abusive towards you, psychologically get abusive towards you. Don't worry, Miss Sue, we can talk about that one too. You need to get out. So there's an audio note. Go back to the story, y'all. I'll send y'all the link of him actually punching her. Like she says, you've punched me in my head so many times, Jason, like 20 times on the drive home. Don't you think that's enough? After 5 years, it's time I break my silence. I mean, I remember listening to the voice notes. I don't know why it's showing up. It's not showing up properly here, but I remember listening to these voice notes and thinking, oh my God, this is horrible. Somebody hitting you like in the head as you're driving. Let me tell y'all something. This wouldn't go so. Yeah, no. Let me see if I can show y'all. It's not opening up on this screen, but let me see another screen. Here's the video. This is the incident that he's being charged for. So you see her there. Apparently she'd been out for the evening, came home, and there he is coming to attack her. She's trying to get inside because now she's seeing that, oh shit, this is going to go down. And look, he just comes and body slams her, grabs her. And you can see he's a little bit out of the camera's view there, but you can see that he's actually beating her. And then his friend has to come and pull him off. And he's still holding on to her. Look. And you know what? She said they had broken up 3 weeks before that happened. And here's the thing about it. The dude wouldn't stop. He is all kind of special. And this isn't the first time. Now, what's interesting about the latest case, the charges? So he had 4 charges, 28 years old. He decided to plead guilty. Now, listen to this, right? I found this so incredibly interesting, and it shows how much of a lack of respect he has for women, and certainly for this particular victim. So there are 4 charges against him. One was for attacking the guy who dropped her home, for trying to run him over twice with the vehicle. Another one was, let me try and get all the charges right now, because, like I said, there's 4. So he was charged with assault causing actual bodily harm. So that's the attack on her that you saw there. Reckless and negligent act for dragging the victim's vehicle. Reckless and negligent act for driving at the male companion who brought her home. And damage to property for destroying her $1,000 Samsung Note 10 cellular phone. So take a wild guess, y'all. He's going to plead guilty to all of the charges, but which ones do you think? Yes, here you know. He pleads guilty to everything, but not guilty to dragging her with the vehicle, which in my opinion is actually the most egregious. Well, no, beating her up on the porch was kind of egregious too. but definitely dragging. He could have killed this girl. Like, to me, that should be a friggin' attempted murder charge. Oh my God. So what happened was he assaulted her friend and threatened her friend at 5 something in the morning, trying to find out where she was. And then when she came home after 6 o'clock, he rushed at her, as you can see there, beat her up, took her phone, smashed her phone on the garbage outside, right? Broke up the $1,000 phone. And then when she goes out there to try to retrieve her phone, he grabs her by the hair. And you can see even in that footage there, he was grabbing her by the hair. He grabs her by the hair and then starts dragging her as he's driving, right? He drags her 60 meters. How far is 60 meters in the rest of the metric system that we all understand? Let me see. What is that in feet? What's 60 meters in feet? Yes, let me see how many feet that is. 60 meters is 196 feet. Is that right? What? That sounds like a good distance to me. Wow. Jeez and peace. She is lucky to be alive. Anyway, he's not a real man, y'all. He's a little boy. Anybody who can do this to somebody else's child? And so he was using his mom's van or whatever. She refused to give the police a statement, but did confirm that it was her vehicle. Mama Brown, you should be ashamed of yourself. You better get your son some help, because I'll tell you what, this is disgusting behavior. So anyway, he beat up the poor girl. She had injuries to her knees, her left leg, elbow, fingers, neck, forehead, all over. And she described a vicious attack, a vicious assault of him hitting her repeatedly that required treatment at the hospital. So he pleads guilty to trying to run the guy over. Now, the DPP is going to be reviewing this charge. What are they reviewing? They actually have an eyewitness in the neighborhood, not even related to the parties, who saw this go down. Why are you reviewing it? You need to charge him with that too, and take that thing to trial. This is ridiculous. But y'all know they're going to just leave that right on file. They don't understand that if domestic abusers don't get a very clear message that the system not playing with them, they're going to continue to do it until somebody's dead. That's why that young man is dead in Northside. Remember the one with, what was her name? Ingrid or Inga, whatever the heck her name is? Because the two of them were in a very volatile relationship, constantly beating each other up. And nobody sought to intervene and to separate these people long term. I agree with you, Ms. Della. In my mind, that's attempted murder. Anyway, there he is dragging somebody's child. I was thinking about this if this is my daughter. Oh, geez, on peace. Lord Jehovah. Mr. Brown, you'd be in a world of trouble. Believe me, you. Folks, the census is here.
Beginning the 10th of October, residents across the Cayman Islands will be invited to participate in the 2021 census. What is the census? Simply put, the census is a head count of every person living in the Cayman Islands. The population count and data are protected and authorized by the Statistics Act. The information is confidential and cannot be shared with any law enforcement agencies. Your response helps guide business, social, and economic planning for the future of our islands. The 2021 census will inform decisions on how millions of dollars are allocated for roads, schools, hospitals and healthcare clinics, fire, emergency response services, and other programs. Census enumerators will visit your household, ask a few questions like how many people live in your house, including their age and sex. Every person counts, no matter who you are or where you live. So have your say in the 2021 census.
All right, folks, make sure you participate in the census. They need your help to be able to get accurate data and all sorts of things here in the country. So we'll see. This young man has sentencing on December the 1st. His lawyer is Christopher Brady of Brady Attorneys at Law. The court ordered a domestic violence assessment and a victim impact report ahead of the sentencing on December the 1st. I hope that she gets counseling too, because she needs counseling after staying in this for 5 years. She's got to be damaged goods. 5 years of Joel Brown. Jason Joel Brown is his name. Jason. Lord. I don't know what to say, except thank God, not on me or my daughter, because that would be quite a situation. Anyway, we wish that young lady all the best, and it's quite unfortunate, I think, that she's had to deal with this. And folks, if you are in an abusive relationship, please get out, get help, talk to people. I know that I think a lot of her friends tried to help her. I don't know why they keep going back. Good morning, buenos dias to Elizabeth. Yes, Miss Ethel, lots going on here. And you know what? The most unfortunate thing is that this sort of thing has been going on for a long time. He is a punk, Marshall. I agree with you. No respect for anybody. This is the kind of kid that probably beat up his own mama. That's probably why she doesn't want to give a statement, because he'd probably go beat her up too. But victims have to find their voice, and they've got to speak up. There's a lot of people in this community who have a reputation for being like this, including politicians, political leaders of today and yesteryear. I've heard some horrible stories about some of our politicians who treat women so poorly. I mean, it's bad enough that they cheat on their wives and they're having all these outside children. They're doing that sort of thing. But on top of it, a lot of them actually have the audacity to get physical with their wives, breaking collarbones and all sorts of things, I've heard, which is really, really disgusting. And nothing happened to them. And some of these women are women with brothers. I've always thought, if I had a brother and he heard that some dude was beating me up, certainly he would come and thump him on the head a couple times. But unfortunately, I think a lot of it is like, oh, well, my brother-in-law has this high position, this high political position. He's this and that and premier and this and that and whatever. So he can treat his wife however he wants because she gets the perks of that lifestyle. So she sits there really meek and humble and looking like a proper fool, because that's what the rest of us are sitting there thinking. It's bad enough. We're like, Colombian girlfriend, check. Hanging at the bar as often as he possibly can, check. Beating you when he feels like it, check. It's like all the cars in the world, all the events, snoozing with governors and diplomat, none of that to me would matter if I can't even go home and feel safe in my own home, because he gets aggressive and wants to hit you or wants to verbally and emotionally and psychologically abuse you. Child, that wouldn't work for me. But I also understand that it's hard to judge a situation, especially how a victim is reacting to it. We don't want to be part of the victim blaming situation, but sometimes I do look at them and wonder what's wrong with them. What were they exposed to? Were they exposed to a household where they saw their fathers beat their mothers, and so it's just a cycle? Because to me, there's nobody with good self-esteem that would allow themselves to be in an abusive relationship and actually stay. I think men can, and women, I do know some women are crazy abusive as well. They could probably get me once. I'm not going to say that a man might not. Like, maybe I missed all the signs, because I think there are always signs before a guy gets physical with you that he's a narcissist and these other things, right? But maybe you just miss all the signs. You were in love for years and you just miss all the signs. So I'm not going to say that a guy wouldn't ever hit me, because nobody can say that. So he's going to get one off. He's going to get the one. But child, that's all you're going to get. You would never get a second chance at me again. There's no amount of words in the world that you would be able to say to me that would make me stay in that relationship. If you ever physically touched me, I'd be like, you don't even talk to me. Like, seriously? No, 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 Bobo. That's not gonna work. And so I do wonder for people who are constantly in that cycle of abuse, what has happened to them? They've been so beaten down in life. And sometimes they're like the most beautiful people in the world physically, but they're so damaged on the inside that they remain in these toxic relationships. And like I said, my fear is always if you remain long enough, eventually these guys will kill you. That's where it's going to end, right? All right. So Miss Mona says the women keep going back to the men. That's the reason most people opt out from helping. And it's sad because I think what ends up happening is a lot of their friends become like they become just disenfranchised with the whole thing. Like they've tried to help and then they see that it is this vicious cycle and that honestly there's not much that they could do. So Evelyn says that she would be in jail, and Marshall says, I know that's what I would do. If any man or punk was beating my sister, I would fix them. Yep. But some of these brothers, they got issues of their own. They're out there strung out on crack, and they're women beaters themselves. If you're a woman beater yourself, how do you go talk to your brother-in-law about the fact that he's beating your sister? You probably don't really have a leg to stand on, truth be told. So these are some of the societal problems that we have in the Cayman Islands that we're always hiding. Check out this interesting video that I came across. And then we're going to talk about the immigration officer, Marcus Alexander, who lost his appeal. So this was another criminal appeal case. So Wee says, when you love something, you don't hurt it no matter what. Exactly. Like, I don't understand the mentality. How do these guys convince women that I love you despite treating you horribly and beating on you and that sort of thing? How do you, like, I don't get it, Wee. Like, to me, it makes no logical sense. But somehow women are able to fall prey to that that way of thinking. And it is incredibly sad. So I came across this video this weekend, and I must tell you, it's a surprising video. Have a look and tell me what you think.
Did you guys know that COVID has a sound? Once the patient's intubated and sedated, which is all 30 of our ICU beds right now, you think that the patients can't make any noise. They just make a different kind of noise now.
Wow. When I saw that yesterday, I got to tell you, that sent goosebumps down my spine. I was just like, oh my God, that sound. Wow. I can't believe, nurses just sitting there listening to that. But of course, that's how they know, I guess, that you're still kind of alive. Miss Sue says I'd be locked up for sure. Were you not able to hear it very well? I'll post it up on the page as well. Tweeny says the most annoying sound. Well, that's what nurses who were trying to, save people's lives and be there for their last have to hear. I mean, I've never, come to think of it, I've never really heard anybody on a ventilator that I can recall. And I certainly have not had the opportunity to sit there and have to be forced to listen to that. But that's the sound 24/7 until you expire, I guess. Or a few people might actually survive it, but most people, by the time they incubate you, that's it. There's no coming back from that. So the good news is there's a couple pills. Pfizer is rushing theirs to market now as well. I think they found that it's 80-something% effective at helping people who are high risk with comorbidities, who potentially could get sick. The thing with the pills, the viral pills, last week one was actually accepted in the UK, is you've got to get it as early as possible. Like if you wait too long, that pill will do you no good. So let's talk about Marcus Alexander. You guys remember this case. He was one of the immigration officers that was involved in that language scam where they were our own immigration officers, Caymanians, by the way, were part of this fraud circle, I guess is what you could call it, where they were being paid and recruited to actually pass non-English speakers, have them pass the English language test so that they could come into this country not even able to speak English properly. Now, y'all wonder when you go to some of these bars and restaurants why they can't understand a word you're saying, because this is the foolishness that was going on. And so this was actually the largest fraud case in the history of the Cayman Islands. I think there was a total of 12 defendants. They actually had to separate it into two completely separate trials, 6 defendants each. And the events took place in 2015 and 2016. So the allegation was that there was a guy named, I think his name is Santos or something. He was the ringleader. His woman at the time was this lady named Phaedra Spence or McDonald. And that they had arranged a scam where they were recruiting immigration officers to pass individuals who, again, were not conversant in English enough to pass the English language exam. So they would pass them. And I forget how much money they were allegedly taking, maybe $150 a pop. Or no, it was way more than that, actually. More than that. Anyway, they were getting their pockets lined, right? No, is it just me or some of these people stupid? How do you think that you're ever going to get away with something like this? Really? Here's my thought on criminality, right? If you're going to be a criminal, folks, go out there and do it yourself. When you have 12 plus people involved in a conspiracy to defraud the Cayman Islands government, you know it's only a matter of time before the bucket can drop out of that real quick. You cannot expect anyone else to be involved in a criminal enterprise and you're not eventually going to get caught. Most criminals can't, not just criminals, most people can't hold water, especially Cayman. You talk your business. Girlfriend know you're getting extra money. She wonder where you're getting it from. Papi, where this money coming from? And then you got to tell her. Anyway, child. They were edging for, yes, Moya said you could tell something was wrong. I came across some people, literally, I said hi to them. How did you actually pass that English exam? Because I don't understand anything that they were trying to say. Good morning, Stephen. How are you? Catherine says greed is a horrible thing. And you know what else, too? It's not just greed. It is literally throwing our country under the proverbial bus. Like we got enough issues to deal with. The last thing we need are individuals in this jurisdiction who can't speak English. This is an English-speaking country. Now, it's great if you can speak other languages. I mean, that's awesome. But, you're working here on a work permit. You should be able to speak English. That wasn't happening. Unbelievable. So, hot mess. Not impressive, I must say. So they were selling us all down the river, and he got convicted. The people who benefited from the scheme were nationals from the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and Honduras. Again, that's because of where the ringleader was from. I think he was, I want to say he was Dominican or Nicaraguan or something, but he's Spanish, Santos. So this was the largest corruption case ever held in the Cayman Islands. I mean, the volume of defense and prosecution documents were like, woo, you know. So he got convicted, honey child, sentenced to 4 years. I think he got the most out of his sentence. So now he's appealing his case, and the judges turned down his appeal. The Court of Appeal turned it down. They said, child, go sit back down in jail and enjoy the rest of your sentence. What an embarrassment to this country. So he claims he was the main ground in which he was trying to appeal. So he's trying to appeal his sentencing, the guilty plea, or the guilty, that he's found guilty, and the actual sentence, like how long he was incarcerated for. So one of the things that he tried to rely on is apparently the court received this anonymous email. Let me show you guys this, about how this other defendant, Phaedra, and again, the allegation was that Phaedra was the girlfriend of Santos, whatever the heck his name is, right? And I think that everybody knew that she was his girlfriend. I don't know if it was really an allegation. There was probably no denial there. And so now Marcus Alexander is saying that, the court received this anonymous email saying that apparently my concerns are growing for the officers in the immigration corruption trial. Reasons being that Miss Phaedra McDonald, who also goes by Phaedra Spence, one of the defendants in the trial, made it clear that she's related to juror A. I guess the juror's name must have been in the email, but they're choosing not to put it in here. Through her mother, Sharon Scott of Cayman Brac. And that is why she was not convicted on the more serious offense. So it was really interesting because Phaedra got off. And this person goes on to say, when the proof clearly shows that she was the person who gave her boyfriend, who was named when he was convicted, Santos something or another, all of the immigration officers' telephone numbers. So again, as supposedly one of the ringleaders, people were very, very surprised that she was acquitted of the conspiracy charge, but convicted of one of the substantive offenses, I think of not reporting or something like that, right? So it was a little bit bizarre. I don't know what the jurors were thinking or whatever, but anyway. So somebody is sending this anonymous email to the courts, and then they made reference to some conversation that took place in Foster's supermarket. Remember what I just told you all about when you're in a criminal enterprise and other people are part of it? Child, they're gonna be talking all up in the grocery store, apparently. And so they were asking an investigation to be carried out. And the Chief Justice also got an email to basically say the same thing. So the court noted that this amounted to little more than tittle-tat. That must be an English term, tittle-tat. Is it the same thing as tattletale? Or is tittle-tat different? Anybody knows? Anyway, that was a term that they used in the judgment. And she also I think she also wrote a letter to the court saying that that it was brought to her attention during the jury selection that someone who looked familiar to her was a distant relative of her great grandmother. So she did admit, I think, I believe this was after the fact, but she's saying that, she doesn't really know the person, whatever. So, I mean, here's the thing, folks. In Cayman, it's really difficult, and this is why they've got to do something about the jury pool. It probably is very, very difficult to find people that you don't know or that are not family to you or whatever when you're looking at a jury trial. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people are not favorable of jury trials, especially in a small jurisdiction like Cayman. They think that jury trials should be done away with. And I can see the logic for that. And this kind of points in that direction where everyone knows everyone. Now, whether or not you can be impartial just because you know someone or not, or your family to them, is a whole other question. And I think in this instance, the judges found that this really was not enough to warrant any sort of a serious investigation of any kind. And it was certainly not enough to throw out his conviction. So they turned him down on that front. And then he went on to make other legal arguments about the sentencing and why he should not have been receiving that sentence. And, he made something about that there was, the sentence was unlawful, and some argument because of the fact that he got the highest sentence of all, like he couldn't understand why that was. So the judges reminded him that the court accepted that he was, as previously stated by the judge, a major actor in the widespread conspiracy. And so they concluded that the submissions of disparity were hopeless. So he was saying, why did I get such a, it's the when you have a family and you got more than one child, you punish one child differently than the other. The other child's like, well, my man, why am I the one who's taking the brunt of it? Sometimes you did it just because they were the eldest and they should have known better. So you would have been like, you're the major player here because you need to be controlling your siblings. Justice isn't always equal in terms of what the consequences are going to be. So sentenced to 4 years, he's going to spend at least 60% of that in jail. Good luck to you, young man. It's unfortunate because he's going to he has thrown his life away. And, I know that Cayman is a very forgiving society, but it will be difficult for him to reintegrate back in and probably find, again, a decent job. Listen, when y'all get jobs as immigration officers, customs officers, anything in government, right? Hold on to those government jobs because it's hard. They're hard bent to ever fire you for like the normal stuff you all be doing, the slackness, the lack of customer service, and all that kind of stuff. Don't be stealing from government. Don't be stealing from the people of the Cayman Islands. Don't conspire to sell us down the river for some bar whores who can't speak English. What's the benefit of importing those people into our country? Do tell. That's what I want to know. Like, seriously? Oh, yes. And they get such good benefits. As Marshall says, they get full pension, full insurance contribution. And I mean, even if you don't have the highest paying salary in the civil service, say you're making a low $3,500, right? But then nothing comes out of your salary, that still goes far because there are other people out there with degrees and whatever maybe they're making $4,000, but by the time they finish paying for insurance and pension, they're taking home less than you. So y'all shape up, behave yourselves. Civil service, y'all have it good and don't know how good you have it. What a mess. All right, let's talk about this next situation here. This is a Northside man. Now, I don't actually know this man. I feel like I should have known him. Somebody just messaged me in WhatsApp and said, Sandy, you know the benefits for the barmaids. Come on, girl. What you talking about? A little extra sauce for Papi Chulo. So this young man, his name is Archie Whitaker, 59 years old. I always feel really bad when I see older people in court. Like the young people, they be doing the most foolishness and carrying on. And, youthfulness makes you stupid sometimes. But I think once you start to get like in your 50s and 60s and stuff, you got to kind of relax a little bit. Like tune down the crazy when you get to that age, folks. It's time to start enjoying your senior years a little bit. Marshall. Marshall, I'm not playing around today, boy. Because Archie's an idiot, he should be locked up. Well, I don't know Archie. I must say, he's a very interesting character. I was sitting there in court, and I got to tell you exactly what I was thinking, because I can't really lie, but I was thinking, oh, this man wouldn't survive jail. He looks so soft and frail, you know? I'm like, they might throw him around in jail, child. Let's keep him out of jail, but he got to keep himself out of jail. He got to behave. So Archie is very lucky because he was on an imitation firearm charge after him and his neighbor got into dispute over 2 years ago, back in 2019. So apparently he lives in his daddy's yard, and his father has, I guess, there's like 3 houses there, and part of it's like rented out, right? So Archie was upset with his neighbor that she kept opening her back door and her window. Now, I thought about this for a second, and this is so weird to me. I was like, wait a minute. I'm paying rent, and I don't know what the rent is, and it doesn't really matter to me. But I'm paying rent for a place, and I can't even open up my window or my door. I'm like, what? Archie, what the hell do you? Leave them poor people alone. You want to, especially now during COVID, try to open up every window to get some fresh air and air out the COVID germs, right? So I'm just like, you can't open up your back door. Like, I don't know. I got to feel like their back door and window was kind of, I guess, close to facing maybe where he came out. I don't really know how this place in Old Man Bay is organized. This is North Side, folks, so I don't know. But anyway, he didn't want them to do that. So he would board up, like nail it shut so that they couldn't open it. Child, I would have moved out. Seriously, I would not have given Archie a chance to do that a second time. I would have given his father notice, said, give me my deposit money back, and I would have found some other hole in the wall to rent. I'm sure it's not the most luxurious place that they're renting either, right? Where people rent what they can afford, but this is disgusting. These people are crazy. Boarding up somebody's window and door so that they can't open it? This is a new level of crazy. Like, I got to tell you what. There are times that I sit in court and I listen to some of what's going on. And y'all just know that I'd be shaking my head. I'd be like, Jesus, what the hell? There are times I cannot believe my ears. And child, I'm in the middle of that Tortuga robbery right now. We can talk a little bit about that. Ooh, I can't believe my ears with 99% of what I'm hearing there. I'm just like, this is what I'd be doing. I'd be sitting there listening. And I look at the prosecution. He asks a question. And then I take my glasses off. And I look at the defendant. And I'm listening to a question. And oh, Jesus, the lies. Oh, my God. My mind is blown. I'm going back this morning at 10 o'clock to get my mind blown some more. That's how good it is. I will be there listening to the shenanigans. Anyway, Archie did it more than once. So then she came home. I guess they must have called her and said, Mr. Archie boarded up the window again. Little Spanish lady, she comes home and she attempts to remove the nail. And of course, a heated verbal exchange ensued. So then he goes inside. He comes back out with what looks like a gun. And her 11-year-old son says in Spanish, first of all, he must have been like, Mami, mira, mira, el tonto. That's probably what he said first, the fool. He has a gun. So then he tells her in Spanish that this man has a gun. And he didn't brandish it at her, like he didn't take it out and say, I'm going to freaking kill you or whatever. But he had it displayed in such a way that he made sure that she saw it. And the woman thought it was a real gun. You know, she saw the butt of, I forget what kind of pistol it was, but she was scared to death. She thought it was a real gun. And she's like, oh my God, this man's going to come into my house at night and kill me. And, you know, this happens. So it's not like you would not be like, oh no, that'll never happen. Child, people get killed for far less. So the young boy said, you know, she looked and saw what looked like a gun in his pants. So of course the police come out. They, you know, they bring the K9 unit. They do a search investigation. They find the firearm in the kitchen cupboard. They find a white substance resembling la cocaina and vegetable matter resembling la marijuana. And as the sole occupant of the residence, he was interviewed by the police and he actually accepted possession of the gun. Turns out it was an imitation firearm. He claims he got some 20 years ago. Wonder how many people he's been scaring with that over the years. He refused to give a urine sample, so they could only arrest him and charge him, which is interesting because you shouldn't have a choice with a urine sample, but whatever. But they arrested and charged him with the imitation offense. So went to grand court, went to trial, and then he was sentenced on Friday. Now he lucked out, honey child. I think even the woman wrote him an okay letter. Like she didn't necessarily want him to go to jail, sort of thing. Y'all victims so soft. My goodness. He can do it to the wrong person one day, and they're gonna take that gun and beat him with it, is what's gonna happen. Anyway, they said, he'd been a person of relatively good character. He's had some convictions, but they were already spent. So the court, basically, the needle is reset once your convictions are spent. So you appear before the court as someone with, clean hands of no convictions. So Mr. Archie got 7 months suspended sentence, suspended for 2 years. So in other words, he better behave himself the next 2 years, or else they're going to throw him in jail for the 7 months. So we'll see. I thought he lucked out, behave yourself for sure. And yes, child, he has a probation order. And they did say that he had struggled with substance abuse issues in the past. So someone says, good morning. Archie was the front desk manager at Moritz before the election. Well, he also apparently is, or was, I don't know if he's officially been fired yet, but I'm sure he will be. Even his lawyer was like, oh, Your Honor, he's probably going to lose his job. And I'm like, that's probably exactly what's going to happen. So he was the personal assistant to J.E. Banks in the District of Northside, Minister J.E. Banks. So evidently he's been on leave since August the 30th. And it is our understanding that he will no longer be employed at the elected official's office. Unfortunate, really, at 59 years old. The father probably like 90. So, he needs this. Hopefully this is a little tough lesson there for Mr. Archie. And he can get it together. So Archie, sorry. But, it could have been worse for all parties involved. Having a firearm in this country is considered a very serious offense. And having an imitation firearm, whilst not as serious as the real thing, can still obviously get you a jail sentence if you're not careful. So let that be a warning to all. Mr. Archie, I think you've worked in tourism, and his lawyer pointed out that he had been so accommodating and welcoming to a ton of people. And yes, he does work in tourism, and he's won all kind of like little awards and whatever. And something like this then has the possibility to mar your reputation forever, and it's quite unfortunate. So Archie, good luck to you. I hope you get it together. Good morning, Miss Lily. Soka says one of the best KX flight attendants. Really? He was a flight attendant? When was that? I kind of felt like when I saw his face, I'm like, his face looks a little familiar, but I don't think I know him. Maybe I saw him on a plane once. I don't know. When was that? Okay. So, we didn't get to this one some months ago about this Caymanian who was charged with attempted murder in the UK. Apparently, he's a Georgetowner, Jeremy Holness. I don't know who Jeremy is, but I'm told he's from like the Windsor Park area of Georgetown. There he is. And his mummy is in the UK. I think some other family. But anyway, he went there not too long ago, 2019, already getting himself in trouble. Evidently, he appeared in the Wolverhampton Magistrates Court earlier last month, charged with attempted murder and possession of an offensive weapon, burglary, and theft. Wow. What a hot mess. So the police were asking at time for people to come forward, but it was alleged that he stabbed his ex-partner in Stafford Street in Walsall, wherever the heck that is in the UK, around 10:15 p.m. on Sunday night. He was remanded to custody, and he was supposed to appear on November the 9th, which is tomorrow, in the Wolverhampton Crown Court. Whoa. Attempted murder? Lord have mercy. That's not good. Mm-mm. No bueno. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Let's move on to some civil cases that are interesting. So we reported on one yesterday that is a very, very peculiar situation. Good morning to Edward. How are you? Oh, Edward, as in Eddie. Hello, darling Ed. What's going on? He's joining us from, where are you at, Scotland? Yes, honey child. I haven't seen you in a minute. Ooh, who told you? Somebody whispered to him, Ed, go tune into Sandy right now. She's talking about so and so. He's like, ooh, let me get the tea. Okay, so good to see you. How are things? So this case, men accused of insurance fraud and BMW collision, is an unusual case. I'm going to tell you, Ireland. Thank you. He's like, Charles, Scotland and Ireland, not the same place. Now you're not Sandy. All right, so this case is a bit unusual, I must say, for a number of reasons. But the first thing is, listen, we have reported on insurance companies suing people before. I'm trying to remember now. Let me just see if I can find one such case. I know we've reported, it's been a couple years now. There was an accident, I think on Smith Road, and then the insurance company ended up suing the insured because there was some allegation that they had not reported a medical issue that they had, which is kind of weird. But you know, when you fill out your insurance forms, folks, you're supposed to be very forthcoming. So if you're on medication and it asks you, are you on medication? You better be honest and tell them. If you have any pre-existing conditions that they're asking you about that they need to know. And it's not just health insurance, even motor vehicle insurance, because there's certain things that you shouldn't be doing if you're driving. And if you have those conditions, it makes you more high risk as well, right? So they want to know so they can give you an elevated rate that you're going to be paying. So we've reported on cases like that where an insurance company has sued people before. I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes, here's one. I knew that there was one about this accident on Smith Road. My memory not too bad, Nina. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. So then we reported this one in July of 2018. And this was a situation where, y'all remember this one, where this car collided into the house in the early morning hours? When I saw this accident on my way to work, because remember I used to be in Pasadena Place, and I saw this, I was shaking my head and scratching my head, shaking it and scratching at the same time, because I was trying to figure out how the hell did this happen? No, sir. Now this is a hot mess. So these people got sued. This driver here for Desmond Roy Hutchinson. Basically, he hit a pedestrian as well, by the way. And it said that he had passed out or lost consciousness while driving. But the last time it happened, according to him, he felt it coming on, was able to pull off the road. So, you know, he basically knew that he had an issue. Come to find out, he did not divulge that he had been diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea prior to March 2017 and took medication on an irregular basis for the condition. So, you know, when you're supposed to take your medication for certain things and the doctor prescribes it and says, take it every day. And if you don't take it, then, you know, you're playing with probably a little bit of fire in terms of what will happen. So this lawsuit, I wonder whatever happened to this lawsuit. Ooh, I'm curious to find out. So the plaintiff said that basically he was not following his physician's recommendations. And as a result of that, you know, his blood pressure, oh yes, he had blood pressure and other things, but he was just taking the medication sporadically. So he was putting himself and others at undue risk. Child, poor him. So anyway, his lack of disclosure of having any family or any physical infirmity and not taking his medication listed any material information to the insurance company, blah, blah, blah. So this was a situation where they're like, listen, you have an obligation to disclose and inform, and not doing so puts you in a precarious situation if you ever have an accident, because insurance companies are not going to be paying out all this stuff when they're like, you should have told us about your condition. And sometimes when you have a condition, folks, you really shouldn't be driving. Y'all know this. I mean, people in this country have had heart attacks whilst driving. A heart attack you can't always predict, right? Just boom, you're here 1 minute, and the next second you can have a heart attack whilst driving and cause an accident. And you can kill people that way. Of course, that you can't necessarily do anything about. Now, this other case is interesting because I've never seen anyone being accused of insurance fraud in this jurisdiction. So this was kind of like, what are the chances? Listen, folks, speaking of chances, today is what? November the 8th. You have a little bit more than a month. So a month and 1 week and 3 days before Christmas. If you're playing Santa for your children, may I advise you, you need to get it together. Order your Christmas gifts early. Now I'm going to give you all some tips on how to do that. Miracle Brokers is here for you, so they can take care of now. I know some of y'all like to go all out for Christmas, even during COVID times. So, I always like to drive around on Boxing Day to see who got a new car for Christmas, because y'all be flossing with the new cars, and you don't put it in the garage, you put it in a little driveway so people can see that you got your wife a new car for Christmas and it's all tied with a bow tie, whatever. So if you're ordering cars, furniture, whatever, give Miracle Brokers a call, folks, because they're going to help you get it sorted out. But you're running out of time now if it's Christmas present, because we've told you guys there's shortages all over the world.
Ho, ho, ho! It's that time of year again. Christmas is right around the corner, and you do not want to delay. Because of COVID-19, there are numerous logistics delays expected. Give yourself the gift of a true Christmas miracle by planning ahead with Miracle Brokers. Whether you're moving halfway around the world or ordering a new car for your loved one, contact Miracle today at 949-5989.
All right, folks, get on it with Miracle Brokers. And then their sister company, Airpost, for your smaller packages. Let me tell you, they charge you by the weight, which is fantastic, because you know what that means? That means you're not going to overpay for your package. There's people who charge you based on dimensions and all kind of stuff. Have you ever ordered a package from Amazon? I did this the other day. The package is like this big. And literally the little box on the inside was like this. Like they overpack so that they make sure that when it gets here, it's just nice and safe and it hasn't fallen apart. And, but I don't want to be paying for packaging. I want to pay for what I've actually ordered. So folks, contact Airpost. They will get you sorted out. They do package consolidations, have the best rates available. Here they are. Yes, child, they can charge you by weight only, not volume. Save yourself tons of money. So do check them out for your smaller packages as well. So back to this very, very interesting case now. Good morning, Miss Nancy. How are you? So these two young men have been charged, or not charged. Let me be very, very careful about this and very, very accurate. This is a civil case. So this is yet again an insurance company alleging that they have committed insurance fraud. Dating back to 2017. So Theo Anthony Cummings is on the right, Jamaican fellow there. And then we have Santanglio. Al Martino Bush, aka Sandy. Apparently everybody calls him Sandy. He's known as Sandy. They're being accused of insurance fraud by Saxon Motor and General Insurance Company for allegedly staging a motor vehicle accident in Georgetown and jointly receiving $15,400. So it's calling them tortious conspirators. So let me explain to you what the heck that even means. So the allegation is that this 27-year-old and this 20-year-old, one from West Bay, one from Bordentown, conspired together to have this accident at this little mini roundabout, North Sound Road, Dorsey Drive and Kentville Road. I don't even know where the hell Kentville Road is, but North Sound Road and Dorsey Drive. I was trying to figure out which mini roundabout this actually was, but we got so many mini roundabouts in Cayman, child, who knows? But anyway, one was driving. It's so funny because they're pretty much driving the exact same car. So one was driving a 2007 BMW 320i. The other one was driving a 2005 BMW 320i. And the Bush, aka Sandy, who's the young man with the chains on the left, he is such a handsome little fella. He is alleged to have run into Cummings on purpose. And then they both claimed, apparently they're both insured with Saxon, and they claimed on their insurance. And they alleged that the Cummings and Bush were associates and close friends, and the accident was staged and prearranged by Cummings with Bush for the purpose of profiting from the insurance proceeds. Now, listen, this lawsuit has been filed. They will obviously have the opportunity to file a defense. And this young man, Sandy, has already said to people who know him that this is a mistake. He knows nothing about this. He wasn't really friends with this guy, Cummings. He didn't even really know Cummings. This was a legit accident. The police were called at the time of the accident, that he did everything by the book. So that's what Sandy is saying. But the insurance company is alleging through their investigations that Cummings received $7,350 for his vehicle, which was an older by 2 years vehicle. And then Sandy received over $8,000 for his vehicle. And so they want their money back. Now, they didn't say at this stage of the lawsuit how they knew that this was the case. But I have informants everywhere. Y'all know how to work. And it's how CMR works. So essentially, what it looks like is if you have Saxon Insurance, you're trying to commit insurance fraud, you better be careful, because they are tracking certain indicators that alert them to whether or not a situation may or may not be fraud. Apparently, there's high-tech software that helps, and then they have hired expert investigators who then look into this, and they're going to be taking your statements. They're going to be checking CCTV footage at the location. They're doing the most to forensically analyze these insurance claims. So I'm looking forward to the defense in this case and hearing what they say. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the exact evidence that they have against these two. Now, this is what the streets are saying. I can only tell you what the streets are saying. That Cummings on the right, he apparently is known for being shady AF. He's been up to no good. Apparently, his track record, his history, has caused people to go back and evaluate past behavior. Because, it normally doesn't start with like a one-off situation. Normally, it's the thing where, you've been doing it for a minute. So I think that because of his actions, everyone that he's ever been involved with is now being scrutinized. That's why your mama always told you to be careful the company that you keep, because mama knows what she's talking about. Birds of a feather flock together is what people think. And if you're hanging out with certain, Marshall, you're not even in Cayman and you know where Kentville Road is? Mess with you. He says Kentville Road is that little road separating Parker's and Hughes Janitorial. So it's that little, that is a mini roundabout. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. With the furniture store on the one side over there. Yes. Okay. So listen, folks, if your mama never told you about being careful of the company you keep, listen, saints don't usually hang out with sinners. They might hang out with singers, but not sinners. But sometimes you do. Like some people like the bad boy kind of friends, but they're not really a bad boy themselves. But the point is, sometimes they get you mixed up in their shenanigans, whether directly or indirectly. So you got to be careful, right? And so Sandy Bush is claiming his hands are clean. He did it by the book. This was a legit transaction. He didn't defraud anyone. The next guy I heard is singing like a canary. Chirp, chirp, chirper, 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 chirper. So sad. Marshall said he left in 2015, but he knew where everywhere is. Yeah, I'm not the best with especially the street names and stuff. But he's like chirper, chirper, chirping all over the place. So we'll see. It is interesting. Like I said, I'll keep you all updated on the outcome. By this point, they should have filed an actual defense. So I'm going to see if I can go look at that court file to see what defense has been filed. Because we want to know. Now, here's the thing. Regardless of, the eventual outcome, we will be reporting it. But what is interesting is I understand that there is quite a bit, now I don't know how much that is percentage-wise, of insurance fraud that's actually committed on this island. And I thought to myself, what? Is that a thing? Well, apparently I'm told that it is. People committing insurance fraud. And you know what happens when you commit insurance fraud, right? Even if you don't get caught, all the rest of us, first of all, our insurance premiums are out the roof anyway, because there's so many accidents on the road. But when you commit insurance fraud, that makes it even worse. They probably looking at us like, every time you have to put in a little claim, one of this claim is legit. Oh, child, I'd be scared. I had to put in 2 claims coincidentally this year. Mind you, I haven't had a claim in at least 10 years now, one for malicious damage from that crazy lady over the neighborhood, throwing rocks at my car, her or her man, whichever one of them did it. And then there was someone like, I ran into them, but they were at fault because they were on the wrong side of the road. So within a couple months, I had to put in 2 different, my poor car was like, I'm going in the shop again. I'm like, yes, you are. But I had to think about this. I'm like, what kind of person stages an accident? Like, that takes a special kind of person. Like, really. Right? So, Cummings, they're saying that he's done it more than once. Really, dude? If you did it once and you got away with it, you think you'd be like, oh, I just got myself $7,000. Let me go sit down and whatever. You gonna keep doing it? You can do it again? This is where criminals are not the brightest in the book. They're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. So we'll see what comes of this, but this is super interesting. But it impacts everyone, because, our insurance premiums go out the roof. We pay a lot for insurance. So Tommy, good morning, joining us from Bahamas. Soka says, I think Marshall's name is Marshall. I always say Marshall. Is it Marshall or Marshall? You let us know, Marshall, and I'll still keep calling you Marshall. Soka is like, Soka in a previous life, you must have been, what do you call it now? You must have been an English teacher, child, because she will correct your grammar, your spelling, and your pronunciation. So make sure you take note. Marshall Soka is saying that Kentville's road is named after the late Kent Rankin. He had some apartments in the back there. Oh, really? He knows his history, man. That's our cousin Kent Rankin. Yes, Biggie. All right. Nice. So, my good folks, that's what's popping off in court. Oh, Miss Sue asked about what happened with Frank. He says it's Marshall. Am I pronouncing it right? That's all you need to say. Sandy's right or no, Soka got it right. He says it's Marshall, and he just spells his name. So I'm like, but she's saying it's pronounced Marshall, like Marshall, as opposed to Marshall, how I've been pronouncing it. I don't know. So Dr. Frank didn't show up at court last week when we had court. Lord Jesus, the man he claims that he don't believe it's a real lawsuit. He's been served a summons. He tried to assault the process server and he doesn't show up at court. So the process will go on without him. And since he wasn't there, I'm not going to tell him what happened because he should have been there if he really cared. But Sue, the culmination of the outcome of it is what I will share. And that's coming. More documents will be filed, but that's coming. Yeah, Shaw, he didn't show up. He thinks that he's not going to participate in the court process. So that means that the court can't make a decision in absentia. Little does he know. Anyway, I had Margaret Ramsey as the judge. She's a lovely lady, must I tell you. Miss Margaret, she tries to be fair. She's a very fair person, I must tell you. And so she was wondering if this is even going to be worth my time. But like I told her, this is a matter of principle. So we will be proceeding till the very end. Thank you very much. Gabby says they do it in Toronto all the time. Some even have doctors that sign off that you're injured and you can collect more money from the insurance of physiotherapy. Wow. Damn, that's crazy. Soka does confirm that she was a proofreader. You see, I knew you in a former life you were something like that. A teacher, a proofreader, something. And you probably had a little stick beating people in the fingers when they spelled something wrong. Ooh, I hate proofreading. When I have to do, I'm like, oh. Now listen, you guys know that I've been suffering from a little tennis elbow situation. Remember the little spot where I got my injection where it took out the pigmentation in my elbow? It's actually, you can barely see it now. It's actually, the pigmentation looks like it's kind of coming back a little bit. But I've really been suffering with this tennis elbow. Like when I have to stretch it out, like right now, oh yeah, I can get a good stretch in there for 30 seconds. Can somebody count to 30 seconds for me? Let me hold it. Oh, it's so painful. So I've been trying to do my little flexes and whatever. I'm doing physiotherapy. I went on Tuesday and she actually tried to put a needle in and it was so painful that I moved. She was going to do a little bit of deep needling and the needle popped right out. She's like, oh my God, it just popped out of your hand, your arm. And she was like, okay, I need to put in one more. And I was like, oh God, I can't even take it. Like I'm in so much pain with this tennis elbow. It's a really painful condition, let me tell you. Anyway, she did tape it for a few days. I found that helped. So I'm going to just have to stay on top of this in terms of like physio. Oh, I feel like I should go back and get another shot, but I've been told that you don't, for this is what the guy overseas said, the expert orthopedic guy. He said that they don't actually do steroid shots in your elbow anymore. They found that what is most effective is, what is it now? Not steroids, but, oh God, I can't remember. Plasma. And I don't even know what a plasma shot is. I'm like, that sounds interesting. However, I have to tell you that having a needle inserted in your elbow is a very painful thing. I mean, it's only going to last about 30 to 45 seconds, but I was in pain when that happened. So now I'm thinking, which pain is worse? That or this? Mind you, that's temporary and it'll give me enough relief for like maybe a couple months. I might have to woman up and go back in and get another injection again, which I'm really not looking forward to. Oh my God. Oh, painful. But like how I just stretched it now. Oh, anyway, I'm trying to ice it. I'm putting heat on it. I'm doing everything. I'm trying not to like take too many painkillers though. But anyway, Silka says she loves Ramsey. Oh, Judge Ramsey. Yeah. So, you guys know she came back and she got a nice little promotion. She is judge in the Grand Court now. So yes. Anyway, I need to get some Voltaren and rub on this too. So yeah, he'll find out soon enough, Sue. Hang tight for that one. So that's what's popping off in court news. Now I want to share, there's one story, actually two stories that we're going to be reporting on. We haven't quite gotten to yet. And, oh, wow. Thank you. So, someone, Miss Jenny says, good morning, Sandra. Jenny Manderson here. Congratulations on your recent interview with the governor. Read your discussion about the incident, Francis Bodden. You were right about the K's website being out of date. I resigned from K's in 2018. Please clarify this on air. I do not recall S. Williams ever attending my church. Oh yeah, it was in your church that he attended, child. But if he did, he would most certainly have not been trying to gain favor with me. Yeah, you're not the one he was gaining favor with, Miss Jenny. No, not you, child. It would have been the chairman of the board. Let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. The allegation is he was currying favor with poor Mr. Arch. And Mr. Arch was, falling for that old trick. So thank you, Miss Jenny, for confirming that list, which I kind of thought, I'm like, a board hasn't changed members in 10 years. That sounds really weird, even under the previous government, although they were slacking a lot, but still. So somebody needs to update that website. Y'all get on it. Civil servants, update the website. Everton says that kind of insurance fraud happens every single day in the United States. So when you drive in here, make sure you're aware of what's going on around you. Call people Islam into you or try to cut you off. Islam. What? Did you mean to say something else? So you hit them, then what they end up doing, even if they don't get hurt, is they call the ambulance and end up in an emergency room where they get a lawyer, and the lawyer tells them to go to the chiropractor for a couple of weeks. Then when the case is settled, you collect your suitcase full of money. Yeah, insurance fraud is a big thing all over the world, I suppose, but I never thought it was really a thing here in Cayman, to be honest. But I'm told that it happens way more often than people here even realize, which is not cool. What a hot mess. All right, so here's another case. We haven't reported this one yet because I literally ran out of time. There's so many cases I'm trying to catch up on. But let me ask you all this question, right? If you lived in an apartment complex, hold on here now, and you had this happening, y'all got to see this joke. Look at this.
Oh shit, the very fucking grove coming up. No. What the hell?
Water, folks, you can't make this stuff up. Water is coming through the foundation of the kitchen of her apartment in Cocoa Retreat. Water. So I guess when the water table rises because of rain and other factors, the water is coming through her floor. And you can see, let me play it again. The splishing and the splashing. Look at that. You see at one point it actually is pushing up.
Their fucking grove coming up. No.
Yep.
What the hell?
I mean, it's causing the grout, folks, to come up. Look at that. Of course. And this is only going to get worse because at some point it's actually going to start moving. It's going to start pulling up the tiles. Now, here is why I don't like apartment complexes. Oh my God. She actually owns a unit, Gabby. So listen to this joke. Her strata, and I'm going to put this story up because now she's suing them because she's been back and forth for, I think, well over a year, and they're refusing to do anything about it. So she spent nearly $10,000 between lawyers' fees and inspections. Inspections they refused to pay for. So she had to get like 2 engineering, I think, inspections, right? She's the type of owner that not only pays her, what do you call these fees? Strata fees on time, but she actually has a credit of $6,000. So she actually pays her strata fees ahead of time. So she's got a $6,000 credit with them. And they refuse to fix her floor, telling her that that's not their problem. Now, a strata deals with anything structural. And apparently, The source of this issue was bad construction. And those Cocoa Retreat condos, they don't come for a short penny. Like they cost a good arm and a leg. So she has now had to lawyer up and take them to court. She's trying to get her floor fixed. And they're telling her that no, they're not going to fix it. Ooh, honey child. Let me see. Let me go back to this case. Give me 1 second here and I can pull up some more details on this one. Because this is just madness, another level. But this reminds me of the issues with stratas, right? Stratas are, other people are going to tell you in your house how certain things are going to work. That is their responsibility, but they still don't want to do it. So hold on here now. And we will put this case up so you can read all the details a bit later on. So the proprietors of Strata Plan number, what's their number? 384 Cocoa Retreat, off of Denham Thompson Way. All right, so this is obviously incorporated by laws. Now their incorporation document actually says that they have insurance against loss of damage by storm, hurricane, flooding, etc. So that's clause 3.6. So on or around November the 7th, the unit sustained damage from water seepage that appeared to occur during the course of or otherwise arise from tropical storm Eta. Is it Eta or Eta? I think it's Eta. Anyway, which seepage in turn caused further damage to the plaintiff's property. Now, you know, at some point, the whole kitchen can have to be replaced because water damage can take out cabinets, like everything. So she obtained expert engineering evidence to the effect that the water was seeping into the unit from outside as a result of the following: groundwater rising through the foundation of the building. What kind of foundation these people built? Only God knows. In which the unit is located under hydrostatic pressure, whether because there was no waterproof membrane present or because such membrane that was present had failed. Ooh, who built Cocoa Retreat, child? Lack of adequate ground drains sloping from the unit, and the existence of downspouts around the unit that failed to take water away from the unit. Sounds like a lot of engineering and structural things in terms of construction, right? So is the foundation of your building considered common property within the meaning of the bylaws? To me, this seems like such an open and shut case. I do not know why Cocoa Retreat would be arguing about this. To me, they're just going to look really stupid. And anyone now who owns a unit in Cocoa Retreat who's thinking, oh, shoot, this might be happening to me soon, be aware that this is how your strata is handling the situation. Although it has been alleged that because this young lady is a Caymanian, that she does not get the same treatment that some of the other owners in Cocoa Retreat get, because they've had other things fixed for them when she can't get this fixed for her. And she's $6,000 in credit with her strata fees. Anyway, the engineering experts have proposed the following to rectify the situation: installation of a waterproof membrane, uncoupling membrane in the floor slab of the unit, or replacement of any membrane that may exist, redirection of downspouts away from the unit, and installation of ground drains or the sloping of the surroundings. So, you know, that's what they're suggesting. The strata has received the engineering evidence and demand for remediation work, and cost of the above mentioned work and engineer. How much is this going to cost again? It's really not that much, to be honest. Like, it's not like it's an arm and a leg, but they're still refusing to do it. So she's now filed her lawsuit against them, child. There goes the property value at Cocoa Retreat. Because when you have to deal with a strata like that, you know, you probably don't want to really buy a unit there, to be honest. But this is why I don't like these stratas, you know. I don't like them at all. You live there and you pay your little strata fees every single month, and when you gotta make it look clean, because insurance goes through them now, remember? When you need to make it look clean, they are trying to deny your claim. On what basis, only God knows. Anyway, they've now been sued, so we shall keep you guys updated on what is going on there. Sad situation, really, that you have to fight your own strata for them to do the right thing. All right, Gabby, yes, says people paying arm and a leg for rent. Jerry, good morning. Those apartments are built in swampland, so what do they expect? Well, believe me when I tell you that everything in Cayman is probably swampland. We have a very flat, swampy island, right? And there will be things that you need to do when you actually decide to build. And I guess the engineers have recognized what needs to be done, and that's what they're saying. Not a popped pipe. Nope. That's just when it rains and stuff. The water just coming out the floor. Marshall says, aren't they supposed to be expensive apartments? Yes, child. They cost a lot of money. I don't know what they're going for now, but because of their location, they have always been very desirable in Georgetown because, you're like in central town pretty much. Let's see what they go for. A 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And I think this unit might be a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, or 2-bedroom. Let's see. Listed here right now. I see somebody has one online. 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhouse situated in the sought after Cocoa Retreat development. Upgrades, granite countertops, blah, blah, blah. Where's the price tag? We only want to know how much it costs. $380,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath at Cocoa Retreat. This is an online search where I found one unit for $380,000. You can get a house in Savannah, Newlands for that kind of money, child. So here's another one, Cocoa Retreat unit number 4. This one's a 4-bedroom. Going for almost $500,000 US, 474,390, 1,900 square feet. So they're not cheap, and I would not be happy to know that I'm sitting there paying a mortgage to some bank, and I can't even get my place fixed. Here's a 2-bedroom. Now, this one is overpriced. In Cocoa Retreat. Oh, it says sold. Mess with them. That'll teach me. 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. 1,600 square feet, basically. $499,000. Just call it $500,000 CI. And according to this, that unit is sold. Oh, no. I'm sorry. That's, I'm looking at the wrong one. That was remodeled Lakes at Poindexter Townhouse. Oh, wrong one. That's Spots. $500,000 in Spots for a condo? No, sir. Oh, this one just has the picture. It doesn't tell you what it sold for. Wow. Damn. Y'all gone crazy with these apartment prices in Cayman now. Whoa. Anyway, you're probably paying close to $400,000. Miss Sue agrees this is a strata problem. Jared says the company that manages the strata needs to get it together. Well, I don't know who's advising who, but they need to get it together. The story is going up soon. Headline is going to be Cocoa Retreat refuses to fix watery foundation or something. So they have to now completely redo the bottom floor. Tile removal, cabinets, baseboards, toilet needs to be removed and replaced. She's already spent $3,000 in inspection fees. which needs to be reimbursed. And while she's out, she needs her accommodations covered, $750 for 1 week of accommodation. So looking at about $12,000 worth of repairs. What a thing. So basically, they have to gut all of downstairs. Yes, Marshall, all swampy, child. Everything came out of swampy. But yes, once you pay for $300,000, $400,000 for property, you shouldn't be having those kind of issues. Jerry says, every time I go into those complexes, I say silent prayer, hoping that a fire never breaks out in there. Those apartments are like sardines. Ooh, child, don't put your goat mouth on them, you know. Yeah, planning allows. Well, there's a lot of complexes like that. I'm assuming they meet all the planning requirement in terms of how close they are. But anyway, Everton says, I hope I can explain this property. Whenever we built shopping center, apartment complex, or houses, we end up dump the land with a lot of fill to make it above water level, and then we build a water off because if you build it, the development of the building of the shopping center in the ground level, then you're always a problem. I hope I explained myself. Everton, I'm a little bit confused, but I think what you're saying, you build a water off because if you build it, the development of the building. I'm not quite sure. You have confused me, actually. Natasha says she might also need to think about mold remediation more than likely. Yes, mold is a very, very serious thing, folks. Yeah, child. And listen, home ownership and all of these things are never, never easy. I'm going to tell you the truth. So, child, Cocoa Retreat, better get your act together. You better get it together. Let me see here now. So I'm heading off to court this morning. I am going to be speaking with, or not speaking. I'm going to be continuing to watch this Tortuga robbery case. Now, y'all, I got to tell you that it really does make me chuckle. And we'll get into all of the details as to why that is. But, ooh, honey child. The lies, the obvious lies. I'm hoping this judge is smart enough to see exactly what's going on, which I kind of think that she is. But we'll break it down because it's so funny. Parts of it are actually humorous, and then you realize that the allegations are very, very serious, in fact. And so at some level, there really is nothing to laugh about, but this is indeed a very serious matter. So we will be updating you all on that in due course. All I can say is this is one of those times I'm glad that it's actually judge alone, in fact. So you've got the judge who's a Jamaican lady, the accused who's Jamaican, the prosecution is Jamaican, and trust me, it leads to very humorous things happening during the course of the trial. So they had to end her testimony. She's on cross-examination. Now the prosecution's putting her under some pressure. And I think she was starting to feel the pressure on Friday because what she did was she said at 3:30, "Oh, Your Honor, I have to go pick up my child from school." And the child got out at 3 o'clock. And she's sitting there thinking about it at 3:30. The judge was like, please know that you're here in the afternoon to testify, make arrangements for your child to be picked up, but today I'm going to allow you to go. I thought it was weird. And I thought what really happened is she was under some pressure. And so she just wanted to leave. I didn't see any mad rush to go pick up no child. But wouldn't you have thought about that beforehand, knowing that you were starting your testimony at 2 o'clock. What made you think in an hour that you'd be done? Like you would have advanced, like told the court in advance or made, always some excuse. And her phone has gone off several times now during the course of the trial. And the judge gave a very firm warning last week when it happened again. She said, this is the second time now, you better keep your phone off. Oh, I'm sorry. My social worker. I'm like, which social workers? Don't even get me started. Listen, it's 9:40 in the morning. It's time to end the show. Don't get me started about what social worker will continue to allow those children that environment. But anyway, I will say no more. Ms. Della agrees that that's a strata problem. Whoever's running that strata is in a full bucket of problems. Owners better speak out and find out what's happening. Yep. But, some of these stratas want to treat you differently because, you're a certain person. But, the strata laws should be very, very clear and they should apply to everyone equally. So I don't know why they're turning her down and then allowing other people to get certain things approved. So Everton says, let's try that again. If you have to build above water level, you have to build in a flat land, you have water pump. Well, listen, there's a lot of complexes and stuff that are built on swampy land and you have to fill it in and whatever, but don't have those kind of problems. Like it said, there are things that should have been done to the foundation that either were not done, which is a possibility, or over time, those things have now broken down, in terms of their ineffectiveness. So, whatever the cause is, they need to now fix the foundation and just get it done and stop harassing this woman about how they're not going to pay this kind of money. $12,000 is not no money for this strata. They're acting like this is $1 million claim. Plus, they can claim it back in insurance anyway. Happy birthday to the beautiful Omeria Gordon. Big birthday shout out. She's one of the committee members for MP Kenneth Bryan. He's sending special birthday greetings to her today. Beautiful. Very nice. Hope you have a beautiful, beautiful birthday, Miss Omeria. All right, beautiful folks. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the program. She says, friend of a friend, and down the road it goes. Everyone's slapping a hand. Yes, Miss Della, you know how it works, unfortunately. So we will be keeping an eye on this Tortuga case for you. Yes, probably. Strata must think the Cayman lady wasn't going to fight child. They must be don't know her. She might look quiet, but little do they know. Anyway, child, Coco Retreat, just pay and get the woman foundation fixed, please. Y'all don't have a legal leg to stand on. And now you have lawyer fees on top of it. Some people just don't know when they have a bad case, when they can't win. Folks, this evening, tomorrow evening, make sure that you tune in for this special, diabetes and COVID-19. Dr. Rajneesh Kumar is going to be joining us from Total Health. He's a diabetologist. What a word. And general practitioner. So his expertise is in treating people with diabetes. And if you're worried now about catching COVID, you will definitely want to tune in to this show. Yep. He's going to give us all of the expert details on what you need to be concerned about if you're diabetic. And because that, again, puts you at risk. So make sure that you guys tune in for that. Really, really looking forward to that, folks. And then All right, folks. So make sure that you tune in for that program tomorrow. And then Thursday, we're going to actually have a nutritionist on the program as well, talking about the important things that you can do in terms of your diet as it relates to COVID. So again, big shout out, greetings there to Miss Maria Gordon from the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. Wee Wee says happy birthday to you. And we can't wait until tomorrow's show, the one on diabetes or the morning show or both. I'm here for it. Folks, go have yourselves a wonderful day. It is Monday. Happy Monday to all of you. Get to work now. Go out there. Be honest. Don't rob anybody. Don't steal from anybody. Don't try to beat anybody up. You know, these are some simple community rules, I think, that we can all live by. That will certainly make this country a much better place. The conversation about the prison, no sound. Are you sure? The conversation about the prison inmates, we can have tomorrow. So 20 inmates have tested positive as of Friday, I think this was. So we might have more since then. Have tested positive for COVID. And let's talk about why inmates were calling me and blowing up my phone, because they were. And so I will inform you guys of all of those details. But the prison says they got a plan, and they are in the middle of deploying said plan. We'll break it down tomorrow. Folks, have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.